Thanks very much. No, please sit down. Take your seats. Thank you. Investing in the future is the name of my TED Talk. I've got 8 minutes, so we'll try to get through this pretty quickly. This is Chip. Why is Chip smiling? Is it because he lives in Berlin? No, please hold your ironic laughter. It actually is because he lives in Berlin. Anybody know exactly where Berlin is? It's right there. I heard somebody complain this morning about needing the extra large coffee to drive in from Goffstown. That is a long commute to get to Berlin. And even if you're not from the North Country, you probably know pretty much the story of Berlin. It is the city that trees built. It's because it's in the North Country and they got lots of trees. And they said, hey, wouldn't this be great if we built like a paper mill and a pulp mill and we have logging and we have lots of jobs? And it was great until it wasn't anymore. And people like Chip were without a job. So we also should know, what you should know about Berlin is that the housing stock is pretty old. The average age of the homes there are over 100 years old. So the wiring's really old and they're drafty and it's expensive to heat. And the other thing you should know about Berlin is that it gets cold there. So the city of Berlin is left with this issue. How are they going to deal with job creation and retention and the ability to make housing and living in the community affordable? So they needed someone to come up with the big idea, ask the big question, and how can we address these two issues using the resources that we have in abundance. And so who comes along but for the Northern Forest Center, and they know a lot about trees. And so they had the big idea. They said, what if we did something where we took weatherization, but not the usual weatherization where we're just going to, put in new windows. Deep retrofit, spray foam, rewiring, the whole 9 yards. And we also combine that with high-efficiency wood pellet burners for homes. Now, not just the little wood stoves that we have in your basement and you go to Agway and buy a big bag for. This is high-end industrial burners that are going to heat the whole home. And so they said we could put this together and come up with something we'll call the Model Neighborhood Project, keeping heating dollars at home in the Northern Forest. Did you know that 78% of the money spent on heating and energy in the North Country leaves the state? So they have this idea, and what we'll do is we'll create this demonstration project, and we'll put these high-end burners in some residential homes in some neighborhoods. Let's put it in some larger housing, like affordable housing. We have a lot of different units, and let's see what happens. And they figured out that the cost to do this is going to be about $700,000 of seed money that they're going to need to get off the ground. So they get some money from the federal government and some money from the Tillotson Foundation, which is a philanthropic group up in the North Country, but they still need about $400,000 to make this happen. So that's where we come in, CDFA, Community Development Finance Authority. We're a funder. We're a quasi-government agency. And we have a couple of strengths here fitting into this project. We do already do things like provide low-cost loans for energy efficiency. As you know, you can get a loan for a snowmobile in New Hampshire, but you can't get a loan for new windows or insulation. So we were working on that. We also had boots on the ground in Berlin with this program that we called Better Buildings, funded by ERA money, where we're doing those deep retrofits. But the reason why Northern Forest Center came to us to help invest in their future is because of a program that we run called the Investment Tax Credit Program. So if you are a nonprofit or a business, you've been on one side of this equation before where here comes the ask. So you could say, hi, I'm the little girl who fell off the Swiss Miss pudding package, and I'm going to ask you, Mr. Socially Responsible Businessman, for some money. So would you like to give me $100,000 for this project? And you're the business, and you go, $100,000, huh? So cash is great because you can put that towards any project that you like, and you've done this before, but you don't really get a lot for your $10,000, do you, other than just a good feeling and your name on a plaque? So he said, instead of asking for $10,000 in cash, how about I ask you to purchase $10,000 in CDFA tax credits? Now, what is it? What are the tax credits? It's a 75% above the line tax credit against your state business taxes, your business profits tax, your business enterprise tax, your insurance premium tax. So if you work out the numbers, let's go with 10,000 because I don't know math. It's a good round number to use. And this lady says, oh, okay, well, $10,000, I could give that in cash, but if I buy the tax credits, what happens is that I'm going to get $7,500 taken off of that amount when it comes tax time. So I'm only going to pay $2,500 on that $10,000 donation. But you got to remember now, if you take $7,500 off of your taxable income, it rejiggers all your numbers. You've just repaginated what you owe the government. So there are additional tax benefits. And so it usually works out to about 11 cents on the dollar for this donation. But you should check with your accountant because your mileage may vary. So these business people are pretty smart, and they're thinking, well, $10,000 in tax credits, I'm really not going to be paying as much out of pocket as I thought I would, so maybe I can leverage up. I can donate much more than I thought I could. Maybe I could even pledge $95,000 because at the end, I'm going to really pay $10,000, which is what I was thinking of paying anyway. Why would you want to do this? Because it's money you're going to be paying anyway as a business if you're profitable. You're going to get taxed this money, and it's going out the door. And why send it to Washington or Concord when you can keep it in your community and direct that money towards nonprofits or initiatives that you feel strongly about in your community? So let's come back to Chip. Now, Chip went and he took part in the Berlin Model Neighborhood Program. So he got all of this usual stuff done with his home as far as sealing the building envelope and doing things to make his home more efficient. But in addition to all the usual stuff, he got one of these high-end wood pellet burners. And it is fueled by this jacuzzi. No, this 1-ton hopper that is going to be filled with wood pellets, and it feeds automatically the furnace with an auger, so he doesn't have to get up in the morning and shovel stuff into the stove. And it's fueled, I should say it's filled, that 1-ton hopper is filled just like you'd fill your oil burner. A guy comes in with a hose and clocks onto this nozzle outside of your home and just shoots a ton of wood pellets in there. So now his home is fueled by clean, locally produced fuel, these wood pellets. So it's not only creating a demand in the community for cheap fuel, but also there's an industry behind that. The North Country businesses that are making the wood pellets and now delivering to homes. So making the home more affordable to live in, Chip saves 315 kilowatts a year on his electricity because of those upgrades, 666 fewer gallons of oil because he's taking the oil burner out of the home, and he's using 40% less energy in his home as part of this demonstration project that is funded by socially responsible businesses who've taken advantage of the tax credit. Also, he's talked about job creation. Well, one of the reasons Chip is smiling is if you can read his hat there, it says Handyman Chip. After he got laid off from the mill, he started work as a handyman, and he got trained on how to maintain these high-end wood burners. So now Handyman Chip is also finding a way to make a living off of this new environmentally friendly, locally produced fuel source. So if you want to know more information about different projects that your businesses could take advantage of and support, you can go to our website, nhcdfa.org. Look at those businesses and those projects there, affordable housing, economic development, community development projects alike. So thank you for your time.